With Halloween just around the corner, it's that time of year when we think about our favorite horror monsters, and certainly near the top for me are zombies. There's something both frightening and intriguing about The Walking Dead, and since George A. Romero first devised the rules for the modern zombie in the late 60s, there have been a number of clever variations. That has allowed zombies to evolve and change, with filmmakers and writers coming up with fresh new ways to depict them. While the initial concept of the dead coming back to life can be traced back to Haitian culture, our modern idea of the zombie as a brain-munching creature that infects humans with a bite truly starts with Romero's Night of the Living Dead. Now we're familiar with the rules of zombies, but for audiences in 1968 walking into this low-budget horror film, this was a whole new experience. While the word zombie is never said in the movie, Romero succeeded at creating this mythology that has lasted for decades. And what the film does really well is establish the rules of what these zombies are. There's also something unsettling about the world falling to pieces as more and more people become infected and they lose their humanity. Instead, these zombies have one thing on the brain, and that's, well, eating brains. That all it takes is a simple bite adds to the scariness of the situation, and we also see the effect of human paranoia on those who are surviving. Romero would later use the zombies to comment further on society, with Dawn of the Dead being a clear satire on consumerism. I would say just as important to the evolution of zombies is Return of the Living Dead, which took a comedic approach to the material and even had characters aware about the Romero films. If you want to see a truly wild zombie movie, one of Peter Jackson's earliest films is Brain Dead. In this case, the zombie virus starts with a rat monkey who bites a domineering mother, and all hell breaks loose from there. Zombie films are known for their extreme gore, and this has to be one of the bloodiest films I've ever seen. Entering the current century, a form of zombies that became popular was the fast-running zombie. One flaw that does come from the slow-moving zombie is that it's not that hard to outrun them. All you have to do is make sure you're not stuck in a corner with a bunch of them. That's when the idea comes in to have zombies that are quick and agile as they attempt to take a bite out of you. This was probably popularized by Zack Snyder's remake of Dawn of the Dead. That movie really took zombies to another level of terrifying as they prove difficult to escape, and the characters really have to use their smarts in order to leave the shopping center they're entrapped in. This film even went so far as to depict a zombie birth scene with baby and everything. Meanwhile, on the other side of the pond, there was 28 Days Later. Most zombie films give varying reasons for what caused the outbreak. In this movie, it's irresponsible scientists and annoying activists. That one took an interesting concept by having a patient wake up from a coma and enter a world already overrun by zombies. It also takes more than a bite to zombify someone. Just some infected blood should do the trick. We're also seeing other variations on the zombie movie. Shaun of the Dead decided to mix the zombie movie with a romantic comedy to humorous results. It even introduced a new way of killing zombies. Apparently just pelting Prince albums at them will do. Zombieland, meanwhile, had a savvy lead who put together a bunch of rules for surviving the apocalypse. And ParaNorman went the route of having its zombies be sympathetic, fitting into the film's themes about not boxing people into certain stereotypes. It certainly makes for the most touching zombie film I've seen. The Spanish film Rec, later remade in English as Quarantine, took the approach of having a camera crew in an apartment building filled with zombies. It was a pretty clever idea that worked in putting you in the thick of an infestation, which upped the terror. Of course, the zombie genre is not merely limited to movies and television. Max Brooks' book, World War Z, presented an oral history of a zombie invasion, as it detailed many different scenarios, including the lead-up to an outbreak and what various countries do to ward off The Walking Dead. The film adaptation disappointingly did not go for a mockumentary format befitting the novel, instead going for a generic big-budget action film, although it had its inspired sequences, like one on an aeroplane. One of the best zombie films in recent years is Train to Busan, a South Korean horror film showing the infestation making its way through a train. Like many a zombie movie, we see how the outbreak affects a wide variety of people, although the focus is mainly on a father trying to protect his daughter. There's definitely an unsettling quality to the movie, especially how the zombies move, and the filmmakers use space superbly well. One recent trend in zombie media has been to show intelligent zombies who retain their human thoughts, but with the added trouble of needing brains to survive. Warm Bodies use this as an opportunity to tell a Romeo and Juliet type story, but I think the best depiction of smart zombies comes from the television series iZombie. The show mixes our already pre-existing knowledge of zombies and adds new elements to the mythology, mainly that consuming brains give zombies certain memories and even new personalities. Rose McIver plays the lead zombie, a medical examiner named Liv Moore, and essentially has to play a different character in every episode, and that adds to the fun of the series. While the first season mostly takes on a case of the week format, as Liv helps a detective solve crimes, there is an arc running throughout the seasons, and the writers come up with fun ways to incorporate these zombies into Seattle. The show is about to enter its 5th and final season, so if you're a fan of zombies, definitely check it out. It's one of my favorite currently running television series. Oh, and Disney Channel made a movie about zombies, but there was not a whole lot of brain eating in this one. You can't just bleach your skin white and dye your hair green and call yourself a zombie. It requires a bit more than that. However, it's telling how flexible zombies are that we continue to see new takes and iterations over the years. Whether they're shambling along, running a sprint, or solving crimes while craving brains, zombies remain among my favorite horror-themed monsters. See you next time.